Well, good, good evening, good evening, good evening. I was trying to get my lighting and everything together. But welcome to Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast, where we inspire, we encourage, and we empower you to live a fulfilling and blessed lifestyle. I'm Anna, I'm your host. I am a retired school teacher and author. I am an educational consultant, a jury consultant, a health and wellness consultant, and I'm also a certified cake instructor. So, I bring a wealth of knowledge and experience to our conversation. So each episode, we delve into topics that enrich our lives, whether it's from education and personal development to health and wellness. And don't forget about the art of jewelry making. And this is done by providing workshops and speakers and um, just providing you with knowledge that will help you with your everyday life. Okay? And so I want you to join me as we explore the inspiring stories, the expert insights, and practical advice to help you have a blessed and fulfilling life. Thank you again for tuning in to Sweet Blessings, where every conversation is a treasure. So let's get started. We're going to break here for a brief commercial, and then I'm going to come back, and we're talking tonight about grateful living. Okay? So let's take that commercial and we will be right back.
Does this resonate with you? Has a company ripped you off in the past? SettleShark is changing how consumers get money back from companies. SettleShark assists consumers during the entire process, from beginning to end. Our process is simple, convenient, affordable, and powerful. You're in control. We are here to help you. Contact us today at www.settleshark.com or call 1-888-704-0708.
All right, we are back. I'm Anna. I am the host of Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast. And so it's where we inspire, we encourage, and we empower you to live a faith-filled, purpose-driven life. So today's episode is all about grateful living, a mindset, a heart posture, and a spiritual practice that transforms everything around us. We're talking about how gratitude shifts your perspective, shifts and strengthens your faith, and opens the door to joy in every season. So let's take a deep breath, open our hearts, and begin the journey toward a more grateful and grace-filled life. So, I'm on here. I'm doing I got my little notes here. I need notes, even though I don't hardly ever follow the notes. But I felt it was time to do a series on gratitude in motion. Now, this is the holiday season. And basically what happens during the holiday season, there's all kind of emotions and things going on in our lives. We have joy, we have happiness, we have sorrow, we have grief. And I hate to say it, but during this time of the year, it's when a lot of things happen. And, sometimes it's hard for people to deal with it. So this series I started because I I too have a hard time dealing with it like others, just like others. And so I want to put this on here. Um, I think that's Delilah says hi. And also Christopher says Mega Mind. These are people who are coming on. And you know that you can also comment on here as well. So I want to make sure that I include the people in that come in and give me comments on the screen. So also I want to just say that we all have difficulty during this time. Sometimes it is happiness, and then there are other times that it's sad. It's just, this is a troubling time of the year. Okay, it's the end of the year, it's the Christmas season, it's the holiday, just all kinds of things are going on. Okay, so do you ever ask yourself, what does it mean? Or what is grateful living? So that's what I'm here today to give you a little insight on grateful living. So let me bring up my presentation real quick. Grateful living, choosing joy in every season, because that's what we really want. We really want to choose joy in every season, you all. So, excuse me, some trickle in my voice. So, what grateful living really means? So, grateful living isn't about pretending everything is perfect, because we all know that it is not. Everything is not perfect. It's not ignoring challenges or forcing positivity. I can't read this evening, no, and I got a trickle in my voice. But let's move on. I'm gonna keep pushing here. So, what is grateful living? So, grateful living is seeing the hands of God in the ordinary, finding small joys even on the difficult days, recognizing blessings we used to overlook, and choosing joy not because life is easy, but because God is faithful. So we're going to take another brief commercial, and then I'll be right back. And we will continue talking about why gratitude changes everything. And I want you to realize also that it's a mindset, a discipline. It's a way of walking through the world with open eyes and an open heart. Think about it. Let's take that commercial.
Join the She Trucking Foundation today and be a part of a supportive community of women in the trucking industry. Unlock exclusive access to valuable resources, including mentorship, educational workshops, and networking opportunities. Whether you're an experienced professional or just starting your trucking journey, She Trucking is here to empower you and help you thrive. Visit www.shetrucking.com to join us and drive your trucking career to new heights.
Welcome back. I'm Anna. I am the host of Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast, where we inspire, we encourage, and we empower you to live a fulfilling and blessed lifestyle. So as we went to commercial, I was talking about grateful living. And so now we want to talk a little bit about how or why gratitude changes everything. And so let me bring my slide back up. So, gratitude really shifts your entire spiritual posture. Okay? You might not think that it does, but it really does. When we practice gratitude, okay, our perspective changes. Our hearts soften. Our stress decreases. Our strength or our faith is strengthened, or there's strengthening in our faith, and our relationships deepen. So, gratitude makes room for joy even when circumstances don't change. It reminds us that God is present, God is working, God is faithful, and it helps us to celebrate the blessings that have been sitting right in front of us. Okay? That gives you something, just something to think about, really. How it changes our perspective. It makes our heart soften. Our stress decreases. Our faith is strengthened, and our relationships are deepened. All because of gratitude. When we practice gratitude. Do you practice gratitude? I try to practice gratitude every day. Every day. Gratitude in the hard seasons. Are there hard seasons? Yes. Every day is a hard season to me sometimes. That's why I do this. I need it for me. I need it for you. So if I can help you, I can help myself. Because we all have hard times. Let's be real. Some seasons make gratitude feel like work. Okay? It does. It makes us, okay, you could be sick and you're waiting on a healing. And I know you all know what I'm talking about because you've seen people who have cancer or some type of disease and, and they're waiting on healing. Navigating grief, which is very difficult to do. I don't know, because we all have experienced grief, and really and truly, people experience grief in a different way. And then we have feeling overwhelmed. You know what I'm saying? Just feeling overwhelmed. And sometimes feeling overlooked. Have you ever been... I'm going to be honest with you. I've been in a lot of situations like where I feel like I've been overlooked. Okay? And I'm sure you have, too. But, at first, when I was younger, it used to bother. It doesn't even bother me now. It is what it is. And then sometimes people realize what they've done, and then they come back and they try to rectify it. But feeling overlooked, starting over is so hard, y'all. How many times have you all started over? I've started over many times. And the prime example is weight. How many times have I been on a diet? That's starting over. Facing financial stress. Oh my God. Who hasn't faced that? I think I'm still facing it. But grateful living says, even here, God is with me. Gratitude doesn't deny difficulty. Gratitude brings light into difficulty. It's the hard moments that gratitude becomes more than a word. It really becomes a spiritual weapon. All right, we're going to take another commercial, y'all. Be right back. Well, here we go. All right, we are back. We are back. Okay, I am Anna. I am your host of Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers show and podcast. And this evening, we are talking about grateful living. And we just got through talking about how, or some things that we can do even during hard times. And sometimes even when we have, hard times, that's when it really feels like, we got to work for that gratitude, okay? But it's all good. It is really and truly all good. Because gratitude really comes forth during that time of hard times. So, I want to talk about now some simple ways that we can practice grateful living daily. Now, even though I'm getting ready to go over these ways, some of these ways you all already do. You just probably are not aware of it. Okay? So, let's go. Let me bring my thing back up. Hold on. All right. So, it's in the hard moments that gratitude becomes more than a word. It becomes a spiritual weapon. So I wanted to, kind of repeat that because it does happen that way. Now, ways that we can practice grateful living daily. The best way is to start the day being thankful. Start the day being thankful. Before you get out of the bed or before you put your foot on the floor, name 3 blessings. I think all of us can do that. Before you get out of the bed or before you let that foot hit the floor, you're going to name 3 blessings. Now, I don't mean big blessings, just real ones. You know what I mean? I woke up this morning. I can breathe. God has given me another day. I know many of us say this every morning. Every morning we say this. I told you some of these things you already do. Notice the small things. You might get up in the morning. Some of us have coffee. That's me. I have a cup of coffee in the morning. In fact, I have 2 cups of coffee in the morning. That's it. That's my coffee for the day. It's the 2 cups. I have 1 cup that I just really enjoy, and then 1 cup I use to take my meds, because I'm of that age where I take meds. And then just a smile. A smile is a way of showing gratitude. How about that moment of quiet? I told you these are just everyday. Have you ever gotten a text from a friend? I know you have. The sunset. And I know that you have looked at the sunset and the sunrise. I know when I'm traveling, I look at the sunset. And I also, if I leave early enough, I'll see the sunrise too. So, I just want to say this: joy hides in the simple things, not the big things. Joy is in the simple things. All right. Most of y'all know most of y'all know that I am very spiritual, and I always have some type of spirituality in my presentation. So now we're going to have a spirituality moment. Let me go back. I went too far here. Okay. I think we're going to have a spirituality moment. I might have to read this from my slide, or either my slides are out of place. Let me look and see. Okay. Slides are out of place. All right, so this is my spiritual moment, and today's scripture is coming out of First the Thessalonians, 5th chapter, verse 18. And so it says, "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God for you in Jesus." It is a command to be thankful, regardless of the situation, not necessarily for the situation itself, but rather to find a reason for gratitude in the midst of it, as a way to demonstrate your trust in God. Okay? Now, I want to go back because it looks like I'm ahead of myself. Okay. No, I'm not ahead of myself. Let's see. We're going to take a commercial now. That slide, I don't know how I got out of place, but we'll get back to that. Oh, we'll get back to that slide in a few. But we're going to break now for a commercial. Oh, Lord Jesus. Alrighty. Let me bring my slide back up. Alrighty. So, I did want to kind of let people know that I'm always looking for sponsors and people to advertise on my podcast. And so I do have a Black Friday special, which is what you just saw there. And if you're interested in that, you can direct message me, or at the end of this presentation, I will list my information for you to contact me if you're interested. Now, I want to, I'm always giving, this is the teacher in me, y'all. Before we close this evening, okay, I want you to sit with this. Where in my life do I need to pause and acknowledge God's goodness today? Maybe it's an answered prayer. Maybe it's a new opportunity. Maybe it's the grace that carries you through. But that's a reflection question. To give you just something to think about. Where in my life do I need to pause and acknowledge God's goodness today? You know, I always tell people I'm a Christian, but there are so many different types of religions and things like this out here. And this is a question for all. Not everyone believes in God, but they believe in a spiritual being. And so whatever you believe in, you can apply this question. Okay? It doesn't matter whether it's Buddhism, Muslim, you can apply this question. Just a reflection question, just to give you something to kind of think about. And then I'm going to go back, you all, to that last one. The one, ways to practice grateful living. You want to end the day reflecting. And I know that many of you have heard me talk about reflecting. I've been talking about reflecting, going back. What did I do right? What did I do wrong? What do I need to change? That's reflecting. And so at the end of the day, every day, you should ask yourself, where did I see God today? Where did I see God today? I see God every day. I don't even have to leave out my house to see God, y'all. And seriously, and when I tell you that things happen, things happen. So and they happen every day. You don't even have to do anything for them to happen. But I can say this. I see God every day. I really do. I think it was Monday I went to Sam's. And you shopping and people talk to you. I talk to anyone. So this person gave me their card, and they gave it to me because during the conversation, they said that I had a good spirit. And I said, oh, well, thank you. Thank you. In the meantime, I come home and I have a little problem with my heating. And so, I had to call the people in for that. And the guy that came out was so very nice. Gave me some grateful help. That's God. I'm telling you, I see God all the time. I've taken trips. I'm going to tell you, I've taken a trip. I went to South Carolina in July. not in July, in October. This is just recently, October. I'm telling you recent things. And I had a flat tire in North Carolina. I was going to South Carolina, but had a flat tire in North Carolina. And it could have went a different way. But I always say it was God. Because I'm on the highway, y'all. I'm going, 80, at least 80. And a car is going by. He slows when he gets to me. And he rolls his window down, And he points backwards and says, your tire is low. Pull over. That's what he said, pull over. So I said, oh, Lord, please and the car was feeling funny, but all I do is drive it, y'all. So I pulled over. He pulled over. I pulled over behind him. And he got out of his car. He said, Miss, you're almost driving on a flat. And so I got out the car and I looked. He says, do you have a pump? And I said, no, I don't have a pump. Women, we just drive the car, okay? So he went to his car, to the trunk, and got out a pump, you all. Pumped my tire. And told me I had enough air to at least get to Walmart. To this day, I don't know that guy's name. He never told me his name. Just out the clear blue sky. So I see God every day. Every day, I do. I see God every day. Every day. We had the snow. My neighbor comes over and shovels my snow. A while back, I had a little health issue with my heart, and they didn't want me to shovel the snow. And so my neighbor has a grandson, so I asked him, would they mind if I would pay the grandson to do it. Well, the grandson has never, ever did the snow. The grandfather is the one that's doing the snow. And so, our kids grew up together and everything. So he comes over and he does my snow, and he was shoveling it. This was last year. He's still doing it this year, y'all. But he was shoveling, and he had a snowboard, but he was, so I guess it was broke. And so he came to me, asked me, he said, well, Miss Brothers, do you still have your snowboard? And I said, yes. He said, well, can I use it to do the snow? And I said, of course. Because he's doing the snow. Man. Baby, my snowboard was brand new. I think I had used it one time. And that one time that I had used it, he had used it because something was wrong with his. And he asked me, could he use it? Okay. So, as soon as he took the snow blower, I guess we did not have any more snow. Okay. But he brought the snow blower back to me in the spring after we didn't have any more snow. And I said to him, I got another snow blower in the garage. I think it's brand new too. Y'all don't laugh. I bought the one you got is new, because he made a comment, that looks like it's new. It was. I said, I think it's new too. I said, I think what it was, I couldn't get it started. You needed that power to get it started. So I bought an electric one where you just plug it in and start it. Okay. I said, but I tell you what, you can have it. You can have it. And so during the course of the summer, I saw that he had thrown out his snowboard. So when we got that big snow, he came over and he did my snow with the snowblower that I gave him. So when I tell you, you have to be grateful and have grace, You have to. Someone, like I always tell people, and he couldn't believe that I was giving him that snowblower. Okay? And I said, people are always doing something nice to me. That's why I got this show. That's why this show is called Sweet Blessings, because someone is always doing something to me. And I just believe that when you have blessings, you should pay those blessings forward. And so that is what I'm doing. And and we really had a bad snow, y'all. And he came over and did the snow. My porch, everything. All I had to do was clean out my car. All I had to do was go out there and put some salt down. And that's a blessing. Those are blessings. And so sometimes you have blessings and you don't see the blessings. I see that one though. I see that blessings. I really do. And I'm grateful for that. Okay, I am truly grateful for that. And so I want to go back and I want to just say this. I want to say thank you for joining me on this episode of Sweet Blessing. It really meant a lot to me, of the Anna L. Brothers show. I pray this encourages you to embrace, not just for a season, but as a lifestyle of joy, grace, and faith. If this episode blessed you, share it with someone who needs a little reminder of God's goodness today. And don't forget, your light matters. Your story matters. And your gratitude can change the atmosphere everywhere you go. So until next time, continue to shine. Continue to grow. And continue to live a life full of sweet blessings. And don't forget my 3 L's. They're right there. You are going to live, laugh, and love. So remember to live your life to the fullest. Laugh. Find somewhere in your life to laugh. You see me laugh. I make mistakes. I laugh all the time. I ain't got no problem with laughing. I like to laugh. I do. I really do. And the last one is love. And you hear me talking about self-love all the time. You hear me talking about self-love. Because that is the part where we always forget. We always forget to pat ourselves on the back and say we did a good job. Okay? And you have to just think about ourselves. So I want to say, these are my remember I told you at the end I was going to show you, these are my other social media platforms. So I'm on YouTube, and that's my YouTube. I'm on everything, really, Roku, but I didn't put all that down. These are the main ones. And so if you're interested in my jewelry, it is the Jazz. You can go to my website. I have a website, and I also have a store. I have 2 channels. Let me go back to YouTube. I have 2 channels. I have my podcast channel, and I also have my Sweet Listings Desserts. I have a YouTube channel with that as well. And then with Paparazzi Accessories, I have a website where you can go and you can look at my jewelry. You can purchase there, both on my website as well as my shop. And that is my shop there. I'm also on Instagram. I'm also on Twitter and, others. But like I said, I didn't put those down. But Instagram, I'm on Instagram and on Facebook. Now, on Facebook is where I do my jewelry, and I do that on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Friday morning. I also do reels and things like that on TikTok. So I have quite a few social media platforms. I'm always asking people to like them, share them, follow them, or subscribe to them. It is greatly appreciated. And for those people who are on Facebook. I do, you can support me by giving me stars. So I do want to make sure that I covered all of those avenues that need to be covered before I sign off here. Also, if you need any more information or anything like that, remember I told you at the end, you could also, this is my email, so info@annaslifestyle, llc.com. I also have a website that has all of these entities that I'm talking about here, and that one is annaslifestylellc.com. So any of those platforms, you're able to reach all of my things. So I want to bid you adieu. I'll be back next week carrying on about grateful living. So, and then the promotion will be going on until December 25th for the, if you want to place an ad. And you know, that ad is for people who have churches, small businesses, anything, you know, maybe I should have maybe expounded on it a little bit, but I'll expound a little bit more. But you have until December 25th to participate in that, and it's a great opportunity. So with that, I'm going to say to you all, thank you for